All right, last couple examples from 11.2, couple of word problems. Let's look at number 48 here. Number 48 says a couple plans to invest money for their child's college education. And we want to know what principal must be deposited. So we're looking for the original amount. We're looking for a present value. What principal must be deposited by the parents when their child turns 10 in order to have $30,000 when the child reaches the age of 18. So we're talking about 8 years here. When the child turns 10, they're going to invest some money and they want to end up with $30,000 in 8 years at 8% interest compounded quarterly. Okay, it tells you that the money earns 8% interest and compounded quarterly. So this is just a present value question. And we know how to deal with present value formula, right? We know that formula. The present value is the amount you want at the end of a certain time period. The rate over number of compoundings raised to the negative NT. So we have all those values. This is our final amount. This is our time period. And here we have the R in the end. So we're just plugging values in here to come up with that original amount, the amount we need to invest to end up with 30,000 in 8 years. So we plug those values in, 30,000. The rate is 8%, so 0.08 quarterly. And N times T is going to be 32, so a negative 32. All right, and we've been over this on the calculator. We work within the parentheses first, so 0.08 divided by 4. Get this value, add 1 to it. Now we have what's inside the parentheses. We raise that to the negative 32. And then we multiply by 30,000. And we end up with our answer of $15,918. Almost 19. Let's say 19. Nice round. 19. So they have to invest this amount of money in order to have $30,000 in 8 years at that rate and compounded quarterly. All right, let's do one more. And this is number 60, and it has to do with inflation. So when you see inflation, that comes down to a present value formula question. So we look at this and it says a retired couple has a fixed income of $46,000 per year, assuming an annual inflation rate of 6%. What is their purchasing power of that annual income in 10 years? And the annual inflation rate means T equals 1, right? We're talking about once a year. So our N here is going to be 1. Our final amount, 46,000. And we want to know what that is going to be worth in 10 years. So we're going to use that same present value formula of A times 1 plus R over N to the negative NT. That's going to give us the purchasing power of their annual income in 10 years. So 46,000 is the original or the final amount we use in this formula. The rate is 6%. The N is 1 and the T is 10. So we calculate that number. 1.06 is the number inside the parentheses. We raise that to a power of 10, negative 10, negative 10. And we multiply that number by 46,000. And we get the purchasing power after 10 years of inflation of 25,686.16. All right, so after 10 years of 6% inflation, annual inflation, where n equals 1, that $46,000 in 10 years, it's only buys the same amount. The purchasing power is only 25,686. All right, so that is section 11.2.